Ladies and gentlemen, the ceremony will begin in 2 minutes. We ask you this time to turn off or silence your cell phones for the duration of today's ceremony.
Well. Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, please enjoy the presentation of the following video. Apologies for that audio, but it was only music. Ladies and gentlemen, please rise for the arrival of the official party and remain standing for the playing of the national anthem and the invocation given by chaplain sages.
Please join me in prayer. Almighty Father, we thank Thee for Thy blessings, this graduation, and the success of these candidates. We celebrate with these officer candidates what has been, for most, a brief but formative experience. The success of each candidate has been the result of significant personal growth, a committed and highly professional staff, personal willingness to adapt, and hard work. But candidate and cadre are not the only ones who have been a part of this stretching experience. We owe so much to our families and loved ones who have sacrificed and provided unwavering support. We thank Thee for their love and their many unrecognized and often thankless contributions. Soon, dear Father, these candidates will take upon themselves the sacred oath of office and become commissioned officers of the United States Army. As they leave OCS, might they take with them a vision to serve and a standard of excellence to guide them in the days, weeks, and months ahead. And might each of us be inspired with renewed vigor, and may Thou magnify our efforts to preserve life, liberty, and freedom. In Thy holy name we pray. Amen.
Ladies and gentlemen, please be seated. Colonel Price, Lieutenant Colonel Davis, Sergeant Major Gilmer, distinguished guests, friends, and family of officer candidates, afternoon, and welcome to OCS graduation for the class 00323. This class started their 12-week journey on November 15, 2022, with 115 candidates. Today, the U.S. Army will receive 92 newly commissioned second lieutenants. Although their OCS journey is ending, they will continue to learn and develop as leaders to ensure Army remains the premier fighting force in the world. These candidates successfully completed Officer Candidate School, which consists of 3 phases: the Basic Officer Candidate phase, the Intermediate Officer Candidate phase, and the Senior Officer Candidate phase. The Basic phase consists of 8 weeks of academics, intense mental and physical training to include the Gold to Black event, confidence obstacle course, land navigation, and leadership evaluations. The intermediate phase consists of additional leadership evaluations, academic courses, and a field exercise where they are evaluated on their field leadership abilities. The senior phase consists of senior mentor sessions and social events as the candidates transition to commissioned officers. The officer candidates will branch into all areas of the Army. After graduation today, our newly commissioned second lieutenants will report to their branch-specific basic leaders course. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming the Officer Candidate School Commandant, Lieutenant Colonel Ryan M. Davis.
All right, friends and family of OCS Class 3-23, distinguished guests, welcome. It's always great to see an auditorium packed full of loved ones on such an important day in your soldiers' lives. Like them, each and every one of you will be asked to sacrifice in the coming years as they fulfill their obligation to support and defend the Constitution of the United States of America. So whether they're your spouse, your son or daughter, your brother or sister, mother or father. So I welcome you as both part of the Army and the OCS families. This family that we have here, the OCS family, it's pretty unique. We're one of only 4 commissioning sources in the Army alongside West Point, ROTC, and direct commissioning courses. OCS produces about 1,000 second lieutenants every year, second only to ROTC. West Point and ROTC are 4-year programs. OCS is 12 weeks long. So that disparity probably makes you think that it's a little difficult to produce quality leaders in such a short amount of time. And to tell you the truth, I was a skeptic before I took command here about 20 months ago. But earlier this year, the Army released the results of an annual survey derived from feedback from officers, warrant officers, and senior NCOs throughout the force. And this year they received about 10,000 responses to this survey. And the question posed was this: which commissioning source, West Point, ROTC, DCC, or OCS, best prepares second lieutenants for success at their first unit of assignment? The results were, I have to say, pretty disappointing for an ROTC graduate like myself. So I'll quote this: overwhelmingly, leaders indicated that their OCS officers were better prepared than their West Point, ROTC, and DCC counterparts. On average, first unit of assignment success was deemed roughly twice as likely for OCS graduates as for West Point graduates, nearly 4 times as likely for OCS graduates as for ROTC graduates, and 10 times as likely for OCS graduates as for DCC graduates. This relationship has remained remarkably stable over the past 3 years, with West Point's ratings trending slightly downward and OCS's trending up. So I don't stand up here and quote this to take away from those other commissioning sources. That, like I said, I'm an ROTC graduate myself. But there's something about this school that takes civilians and NCOs from around the force and turns them into successful officers in a matter of weeks. So what's behind the success? Why do Army leaders feel this way? Why have more OCS graduates earned the Congressional Medal of Honor, 75 of them in the school's 81-year history, than from any other commissioning source? The secret to the success of OCS graduates boils down to one word: people. We have dedicated and professional cadre who care about what they do, and they understand the very strategic importance of their jobs, and we have committed and experienced candidates from all walks of life. The 92 members of this class over here will soon commission into 17 different branches in the Army as active duty, National Guard, and Reserve officers. About 20% of them, or only about 20% of them, have previous military experience. There are NCOs in this group with combat experience, to include a master sergeant. The remainder have only 21 weeks, that's basic training, and then here at OCS under their belts. All of them have at least a bachelor's degree, and 1/5 of the class have a master's degree or higher. They were born all over the world and have backgrounds in law enforcement, healthcare, teaching, counseling, and social work. There is a game designer, a crop insurance claims adjuster, a chef, a blueberry farmer, a Black Hawk helicopter mechanic, and retail store and project managers. And as is always the case, there are more than a few former bartenders in this group. Perhaps most importantly for the role in which they're about to assume, there are mothers and fathers sitting here, something you won't find from West Point graduates. The average age of graduates from other commissioning sources is 22 years old. The average age of an OCS graduate is 28. The oldest graduate here is 37 years old, I believe. So that's the secret. OCS attracts the right people with maturity, drive, and real life experience, guided by professional cadre. That's something that can't be replicated within the four walls of a university or academy. Now it's my pleasure to introduce today's guest speaker. Colonel Price is from Pratt, West Virginia. He joined the Army in 1995, graduating from basic combat training at Fort Jackson, South Carolina, later earning a commission through the Officer Candidate School at Fort Benning, Georgia. Colonel Price has completed many operational assignments, from tank platoon leader to brigade commander in locations such as the Republic of Korea, Kuwait, Iraq, Afghanistan, Poland, Germany, and Latvia. Among Colonel Price's individual awards are the Silver Star, Legion of Merit, and Bronze Stars. Please join me in welcoming today's guest speaker, a fellow West Virginian, Colonel Price.
Okay, all right, so they've put two speakers from West Virginia in a row. We'll see who can identify the worst accent among us. So those statistics about OCS success, I'd like you to pass those off to my next board. I'd appreciate that. It doesn't seem to be working out that way for me at this level. But hey, when writing these remarks, I always go back to, I had a young specialist. For those of you who aren't familiar with the Army, the best rank in the Army is specialist, because they know just enough to be dangerous and don't care. So the young specialist looks at me and he goes, "Hey, sir, you know, Lincoln spoke for 2 minutes and changed the world. Caesar spoke for 2.5 hours and the audience hacked him to death. Good luck, sir. Make the right call." So I'll try to get it somewhere between 2 minutes and 2 hours. There's also a couple facts that I'm conscious of, is that when I graduated here, I don't remember whether we had a speaker. I think from pictures that I was in the room, and there's only one thing I wanted to do, and that was get out of building snore, salute somebody out front, hand off a silver dollar, and move out. So I'll use the bull rule. There'll be a point here, and a point here, and a bunch of bull in the middle, okay? So class participation is very encouraged. Every once in a while, if you want to yell amen, that's okay too. All right, so I'm going to talk a little bit about what I'm going to call the anatomy of a leader. I'm going to talk really to our candidates. And let's start, and I'm really going to talk about everything from basically the feet up to the hips. We'll start off with that. As a lieutenant, we want you to go places and we want you to do stuff. There's your first counsel, all right? Go places and do stuff. And we want you to look happy doing it. All right? That's about 90% of the game right there. All right? Lead from the front. We want you to be physically fit and be physically tough. Those are two different things. Inspect what you expect. We want you to be tireless. or at least look that way. For my poor Master Sergeant, you're going to have to fake it, all right? And to be constantly looking for ways to make your team's life better and your soldiers' lives better. You should always be uncomfortable, all right? If you're in a position where you're physically comfortable, you're probably doing it wrong. I want you to be all horsepower, no direction. That's why you got platoon sergeants. Spend time in the motor pool, in the barracks, walking a perimeter, checking towers and talking with your soldiers. Stand the guard, spend a night on CQ when it's not your turn. Never underestimate the value of your physical presence. In combat, in places like that, it's almost everything. They'll know what's important to you by seeing where you spend your time. When you encounter an old crusty colonel like me, who's all crotchety and you're trying to figure out why, it's because our feet hurt. All right? Some of you all can relate. There's other things that hurt too, but we're going to focus on those feet right now. So. I would rather you be there when something went wrong than be there too late to try to stop it. When it comes to your turn to lead in combat, it's not all that complex. They know you share their hardships and their risks. They'll trust you. Being there and being enthusiastic is very important. So let's skip to this part, folks. I'm going to talk about this part, the cranial housing group. Newsflash to all you mothers out there, we did not commission these young men and women because of their wisdom. Wait for it. Okay. I know, I'm sorry, mothers and candidates. It's not because of your wisdom. We didn't make you lieutenants because you were gifted orators. We made you lieutenants because you have intellectual energy and the capacity to learn. It's taken me about 27 years to get to the point where I kind of think I got this figured out. I know how the Army works. You got to learn something new every day. Listen to your NCOs, your platoon sergeants, and your sergeants majors. Seek out their thoughts and take away their burdens. Again, I know here at Benning's Pride and Joy, which in my day used to be Benning's School for Boys, we spend a lot of time trying to make you a little bit smarter. But we don't be confused. In the time that you learn the acronyms that you'll need, we'll change them again. Strive to be an expert in your field and to be competent overall. Work on being a masterful communicator, both written and oral. Say way less than you think you should, and be way more clear than you normally would. Never miss an opportunity to say nothing. You all may use that anytime you want, by the way. When asked a question, answer the question, and then stop talking. This also could be marriage counseling, I think, maybe. I hope my wife's not watching. I don't even know where I'm at right now. Okay, anyway. And then if you're asked to elaborate, then explain your answer. Don't be afraid to be wrong, but don't defend yourself based on your rank and position. If you're going to be wrong quick. At the War College, my team and I agreed that you can say stupid stuff if you want, just don't take very long to do it. For those of you that have been in the Army for a while, don't rest on your experiences. Too many times I've seen my OCS peers top out at potential at captain because they spent their lieutenant years being pretty good platoon sergeants. If you stay long enough to call the Army a career, you will have spent about a quarter of your time in school. So we're going to spend time educating you. We think it's important enough that we'll take time to teach you. Be competent and be thoughtful is also important. So what's the most important? I propose to you that almost everything that you need to be a great leader as a lieutenant resides from right about here to right where the belt hangs out. Okay? Being a leader takes guts, and it takes heart. In the words of the ancient poet, somebody ain't gonna make it, their tiny little heart can't take it. If you've not heard that cadence, that's an Army cadence, and it's ancient. When your legs or feet are giving out, when you don't have the answers, you're going to have to suck it up. You're going to have to drive on anyway. Toughness is easier if you're in good shape, but it's impossible if you have chronic THS. Anybody know what chronic THS is? Medical condition, tiny heart syndrome. You may use that also. You won't go and put yourself at risk if you're not driven by your gut. You won't strive to be competent if you don't care about how your decisions impact your soldiers. You've all heard it before. They want to know how much you care before they care how much you know. Know your soldiers and take action to do so. There's something I wish I had done 27 years ago. I'm 28 now. Every green book, I wish I had written down everybody's name, the name of their family members, something about them, and I wish I'd have kept all that. I usually did it, but I didn't keep them. I implore you, In the age of iPhones, iPads, this, that, just get a piece of paper, write this stuff down, and hold on to it. Because when you run into one of your soldiers 20-some years from them, it'd be great for you to ask, hey, how's so-and-so doing? And have that connection. Look, a lot of folks at my age are going to talk to you about emotional intelligence. I don't want that to be code for don't care so much. Well, as a lieutenant, care a bunch. Care a bunch. Lead with emotion. Let it all hang out. Your life and career will be way more fulfilling if it's not based on your own perceived intelligence and your ability to run. The Army values are all present between your heart and your guts. There's no logic in loyalty or duty. Respect isn't something you learn absent empathy. Selfless service will make your body hurt. Integrity takes fortitude. Honor and courage alone makes you fill your chest with air and steel yourself against something that could probably kill you. So there's some probably biology major or medic in the room right now that's going, that idiot doesn't know. That's not an operation of the heart. Those are operations of the brain. If that's what your feedback is, you're doing it wrong. You should feel it in your chest and in your guts. There'll be days that you'll be driven to anger. You'll be physically broken and without answers. How you react in those situations will not all be about fitness and brains. Certainly those things help, but we can't teach you to be brave in the face of adversity. We can't teach you to truly love your soldiers. I needed a joke there. That's where I need one. These times will call into question who you really are. And here's how you'll know whether you've done it right. When one of your platoon sergeants looks across the assembly area or the patrol base with a soggy paper cup, and it's filled with something that resembles coffee only in that it's hot and brown, and it's the best coffee you've ever had, or when you know every one of your soldiers' choice between MRE cheese versus peanut butter. Those deviants who like peanut butter. We need to do a survey on their success rates to this one. If you're a peanut butter person right now, just raise your hand. No. I don't understand why I can't have both in one MRE. I just don't get that. Anyway. All right, then you'll know, okay? Team, these remarks have been my own personal opinion, colored by a few years of doing something I've truly loved. And thank you for this opportunity to mark this special occasion with you. I wish each of you hundreds of soggy paper cups and your choice of MRE every time you send your hand into the box. Thank you all.
Ladies and gentlemen, the commander of Alpha Company, Captain Brown, will now administer the oath of office to Class 00323. At this time, family and friends are welcome to take photos as the officer candidates take the oath of commission.
Raise your right hand and repeat after me. I state your name. I. Having been appointed an officer. In the Army of the United States. In the Army of the United States. In the grade of second lieutenant. In the grade of second lieutenant. Do solemnly swear. Do solemnly swear. That I will support and defend. That I will support and defend. The Constitution of the United States. The Constitution of the United States. Against all enemies. Against all enemies. Foreign and domestic. Foreign and domestic. That I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same. That I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same. That I take this obligation freely. That I take this obligation freely. Without any mental reservation. Without any mental reservation. For purpose of evasion. For purpose of evasion. And that I will well and faithfully. And that I will well and faithfully. Discharge the duties. Discharge the duties. Of the office upon which I'm about to enter. Of the office upon which I'm about to enter. So help me God. So help me God.
At this time, we would like to take a moment to thank all the organizations that supported and sponsored Class 323 from their start on 15 November 2022 to their commissioning today. These sponsors have donated awards for the distinguished honor graduates, money to support the candidates' events, and bricks that will be placed in the OCS Memorial Walk to remember them and recognize the company leadership and cadre Class 00323 and the distinguished graduates. The organizations are the United States Army Officer Candidate School Alumni Association, the American Armed Forces Mutual Aid Association, United States Automobile Association, Association of the United States Army, and the Military Officer Associations of America. Please join us in thanking these organizations for their support. The Distinguished Honor Graduate is the graduate who has outperformed all other OCS graduates in academics, physical fitness, and leadership while displaying the professional qualities required of officers in the United States Army. The Distinguished Honor Graduate will receive a saber provided by the Military Officers Association of America, a $200 check sponsored by the United States Automobile Association, and an Army Achievement Medal.
Fine, sorry,
The
sorry.
Distinguished Honor Graduate will also receive a 3-year premium membership for the Military Officers Association of America, as well as the U.S. Army Officer Candidate School Alumni Association Challenge Coin. Ladies and gentlemen, the recipient of the Jess Walls Award, Distinguished Honor Graduate,
Gavin
OCS
Boyd,
Class
please.
00323, is Second Lieutenant Matthew Kreitz, Virginia.
Remember that slow.
The Distinguished Leadership Graduate is the graduate who displayed the highest standard of leadership qualities in the class. The Distinguished Leadership Graduate will receive a plaque, a challenge coin from the United States Army Officer Candidate School Alumni Association, and an Army Achievement Medal. Ladies and gentlemen, the recipient of the Robert B. Nett Award, Distinguished Leadership Graduate of OCS Class 00323, is Second Lieutenant Sabrina Roskowski, Military Intelligence. The Distinguished Academic Graduate is a graduate with the highest academic average in the final academic report. The Distinguished Academic Graduate will receive a plaque, a challenge coin from the United States Army Officer Candidate School Alumni Association, and an Army Achievement Medal. Ladies and gentlemen, the Distinguished Academic Graduate of OCS Class 00323 is Second Lieutenant Jason Harmon, Engineer. The Distinguished Physical Fitness Graduate is a graduate who scored the highest average on the Officer Candidate School's physical fitness events. The Distinguished Physical Fitness Graduate will be awarded the Iron Mike Award, provided by the United States Army Officer Candidate School Alumni, and an Army Achievement Medal. Ladies and gentlemen, the Distinguished Physical Fitness Graduate of OCS Class 00323 is Second Lieutenant Matthew McCarthy, Transportation. The Commandant's Lists are the graduates who rank in the top 20% of their class. Please hold all of your applause for all the Commandant's List graduates until the entire list has been read. In alphabetical order, graduates placing on the Commandant's List for Class 00323 are Second Lieutenant Caden Badeau Lossing, Military Intelligence, Branch Detail, Field Artillery. Second Lieutenant Jared Boswell, Infantry. Second Lieutenant Stephen Crabtree, Military Intelligence, Branch Detail, Infantry. Second Lieutenant Nathan Holbert, Military Intelligence. Second Lieutenant Chase Kiger, Infantry. Second Lieutenant Justin Knowles, Military Intelligence. Second Lieutenant Dylan Lerfald, Infantry.
Aynen. Bazen geliyordu.
Second Lieutenant Janelle Lozano, Military Intelligence.
Ủa, Godwin cái cao quá. Godwin cái sao?
Second Lieutenant Andrew Moore, Military Intelligence. Second Lieutenant Garrett Phillips, Military Police. Second Lieutenant Matthew Rodriguez, Finance. Second Lieutenant Quinn Troy, Signal. Second Lieutenant Carson Williams, Infantry. Second Lieutenant Paul Weimer, Infantry.
Kolay yavaş görüyor gerçi.
Second Lieutenant Derek Wolf, Military Intelligence.
Haklı bak yine.
Ladies and gentlemen, this concludes the comments list. Alphabetical order, the remaining members of OCS class 00323. Again, please hold all your applause until all the graduates have been called. Candidates commissioning as second lieutenants are Second Lieutenant Samuel Akintoye, Aviation.
이해가 깨서 하사.
Second Lieutenant Aruo Alakoa, Ordnance, Explosive Ordnance Disposal.
Aruo? Let's go Aruo.
Second Lieutenant Christian Alonso Hernandez, Engineer. Second Lieutenant Gary Bacon, Quartermaster. Second Lieutenant Benjamin Baker, Chemical. Second Lieutenant Shahid Barquette, Ordnance. Second Lieutenant Corey Benziger, Quartermaster.
Có gì mà phồn vậy?
Second Lieutenant Jefferson Bohr, Quartermaster. Second Lieutenant Thomas Bovino, Transportation. Second Lieutenant Shayla Brickner, Medical Services. Second Lieutenant Zachary Kane, Quartermaster.
Quite an Aruo.
Second Lieutenant John Caesar, Military Police. Second Lieutenant Sanders Charles, Quartermaster. Second Lieutenant Christian Cisneros, Finance. Second Lieutenant Cherie Clark, Engineer. Second Lieutenant Christian Clark, Aviation. Second Lieutenant Noah Cloak, Armor.
Say hi. Say hi. Hi. Say hi to me.
Second Lieutenant Luis Cortez, Transportation.
Say hi to me.
Where's Jojo?
Say hi to me.
Second Lieutenant Jessica Chrysler,
Say hi to
Quartermaster.
me.
Hi, Mommy. Hi to Mommy. Hi, Mommy. Hi, Mommy.
Second Lieutenant Patrick Curry, Adjutant General.
Gamit ulit ko lang sa bahay.
Second Lieutenant Matthew Daniel, Signal.
Okay. There's a letter.
Second Lieutenant Bryce Davis, Armor. Second Lieutenant Joseph Del Campo, Signal, Range Detail Infantry. Second Lieutenant Eleanor Donez, Adjutant General, Range Detail Infantry.
Gamit yung lawang niya ko talaga sana.
Second Lieutenant Christianus Dragons, Engineer.
Sarap yung habang say hi to me. Mano mo ba tayo?
Second Lieutenant Catherine Esparza, Field Artillery. Second Lieutenant Cedric Ewing, Chemical.
Where's it just going?
I'm just gonna stand.
Second Lieutenant Andrew Friend, Field Artillery.
Tahan ko pa tatlo.
Second Lieutenant Levy Gallivan III, Signal.
Hi, Mommy.
Hi.
Hi, Mommy.
Hi, Kimo.
We're dropping in there.
Second Lieutenant Lante Gay, Adjutant General.
Nakakalitin. Ma-fruit sa pana.
Hi, Dad. Can we go here?
Second Lieutenant Natalie Gomez, Signal.
Yeah, we got one over here. There's a one there.
Second Lieutenant Casey Gruber, Transportation.
I'm thinking
Second Lieutenant Ryan Haggard, Signal.
Kung ka ng Starbucks.
Second Lieutenant Zach Hayashida, Engineer.
Magkasa. Mag-caramel sa pangayos mo.
Timo, you broke the plate.
Mag-caramel. Crunch.
Second Lieutenant Isan Hogan, Adjutant General.
Here.
Caramel crunch. Masong.
Second Lieutenant Ashley Jimenez, Armor.
Kung dyan na sila, masong na. Halagirala na pa yung
Second
stage.
Lieutenant Sean Johnson, Engineer. Second Lieutenant Jonathan Casper, Cyber.
I want cookie. Cookie?
Second Lieutenant Matthew Keith, Field Artillery.
Malam tashi da nilim di mga ilog eh. Uy, karen na fulo.
Second Lieutenant Keith Lawson Jr., Quartermaster. Second Lieutenant Christina Lewis, Transportation.
Come with me.
Second Lieutenant Leota Lewis, Transportation. Second Lieutenant David Logren, Signal. Second Lieutenant Craig Martin, Infantry. Second Lieutenant Anthony Mays Jr., Signal. Second Lieutenant Kevin McNamara, Military Police. Second Lieutenant Miguel Medina Betancourt, Quartermaster. Second Lieutenant Thomas Myers, Air Defense Artillery.
Could you look this way?
Second Lieutenant Alif Nola, Field Artillery.
Look at you. Look, what's this?
Second Lieutenant Brandon O'Brien, Quartermaster.
You wait.
Second Lieutenant Simon Osman, Quartermaster.
Video sa lahat ng friend
Wait,
ma.
look this way.
Na Florence mamay. So na ganyan mo. Ang backpack.
Second Lieutenant Jason Clark, Chemical. Second Lieutenant Jamal Pitts, Signal. Second Lieutenant Abraham Plotkin, Engineer.
Because
Second Lieutenant John Riviere Bermudez, Transportation.
Kolektor na full masa nga yung record lens eh. Full na.
Second Lieutenant Cedric Robinson, Ordnance.
Sa weekend na. Ka-weekend to weekend. See you weekend.
Second Lieutenant Kira Andrews Romero, Field Artillery. Second Lieutenant Trevor Shirley, Adjutant General.
Nice.
Second Lieutenant Trevor Skinner, Adjutant General.
Alay pa tatle.
Second Lieutenant Bruce Smith, Signal.
Pwede.
Second Lieutenant Charles Sosa, Field Artillery. Second Lieutenant James Stapleton, Ordnance.
Hi. Hi. Hello. Hi.
Second Lieutenant Michael Stasinus, Military Police.
Dahil kumda ko siya latuloy.
Second Lieutenant Drake Stinson, Engineer. Second Lieutenant Bobby
잘 잡자,
Pigpen,
대박.
quartermaster.
주병하다.
Second Lieutenant Jordan Tamala, aviation.
Hello. Cậu đã lên tay yourself đi em được.
Hi. Hello.
Mà lên tay từ lô kinh này.
Second Lieutenant Edwin Torres Torres, military police.
Em mới tập biết chắc.
Second Lieutenant Mark Torres, ordnance. Turkey season approaching. Students have gotten you 2 boxes of turkey loads.
Well done.
Rendering the newly commissioned officers' first salute, along with pinning their first set of second lieutenant gold bars, are a time-honored tradition in our Army. At this time, the class's distinguished honor graduate, Second Lieutenant Christ, will be joined by his girlfriend, Miranda Shortell, who will place the rank upon his shoulder boards. Staff Sergeant Senior has the honor of rendering Second Lieutenant Kreitz his first salute. What you may have not seen is Lieutenant Kreitz gave Sergeant Senior silver dollars as a thank you for his first salute. This is an Army tradition that dates back all the way to the colonial times. Ladies and gentlemen, please rise for the departure of the official party, the OCS alma mater, and the Army song.
고단등 알약 느낌이다. 고단등 알약 느낌이다.
Singing like that.
At this time, the student commander, Second Lieutenant Christ, will assume control of the class from First Sergeant Velasco. First Sergeant Velasco initiates the salute to Second Lieutenant Christ, signifying the class's transition from officer candidates to commissioned officers. Second Lieutenant Christ will now place his name on the Captain Christopher Kinney Memorial Bell, donated by Class 00522. Second Lieutenant Christ will dismiss the class and ring the bell to signify the end of Officer Candidate School for Class 00323.
Class 00323 is dismissed.
기모 따라 먹자.
아, 던져자. À, cái mất cái bài vậy cơ. Lấy mất rồi.
Ladies and gentlemen, this concludes the graduation ceremony. If you would like more information regarding the social referral program, please scan the QR code provided to you on the slide or within the handout. Please feel free to move outside the auditorium to witness the first salutes rendered to Alpha Company's newly commissioned second lieutenants.
Did you go to the restroom? I know, I was gonna say that. He said my move. He said it's there. How do we go this way? Okay, ready? Now it's official.
Kumda ko siya eh.
Not really.
Ghost.